Hey Berkeley residents, and welcome to another video update per our city departments during the COVID-19 pandemic. Today with me, I have our Finance and Treasury Director, Mark Polek, who is here to kind of talk with us about, what's happening behind the scenes from a financial perspective, given the nature of this public health crisis. But before we begin, Mark, I just want to check in, see how you're doing. How's the family? How is our Finance and Treasury staff and everything that comes with being at home?
Okay. We are good. I'm spending most of my time at home with my family. Your daughter was here. She attends Grand Valley and got out early, and we helped her move a couple of weekends ago. She's back home now. She was with us for a couple of days, and she's back with her mom now. My wife and son and I are spending time at home. A little stir crazy, but he's been pretty good about doing his work on the computer, doing his schoolwork, between video games and chats with his friends. So we're doing okay. It's definitely different for sure, but we're doing our best to cope as everyone is. So doing the best we can.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that you guys are healthy and trying to manage the new way of living. Yes. So kind of circling back to, what the video update is for, if you could kind of share with the community, what's been going on with your department, how have you guys adjusted given the nature that we are in this stay home, stay safe executive order, and all of us are pretty much working remotely now.
Yes. We have 3 people in our department. In finance, we're a little isolated at City Hall. In fact, we have signs on our door that direct people down to the Treasury office where all the action happens. But both Lori and Sue were working from the office, and then we decided back when we got the stay-at-home order to make sure we could work remotely. Sue's been in the office a few times. There's a lot of things she has to do in the office, but I think she likes to be there by herself at times so she can get things done. But they are both doing okay, and again, we're doing the best we can to kind of cope. But as far as payments go, something everyone's concerned with finance, and what we did is, with permission of the city manager, Brian, the deputy treasurer, and I spoke with him about extending payments. At this time, people don't have to worry about if you don't have the money for your water bill, you can extend your payment without penalty. We'll kind of do that until further notice. It'll extend into April, where you don't have to pay and you don't have to worry about penalty. Was one of the first things we did. So if you're unable to get to City Hall and make your payments, don't worry about it. We're extending deadlines and due dates, and you will not have to pay a penalty when you are able to pay. And like I say, we'll extend that at least through April. So if you can't, don't worry about it. Something else we're working on is Point and Pay is now going to be our online payment vendor. We had a meeting with them today via tele meeting, and they are working to get us up and running. What we hope to do is have the ability for residents to look up their water bill online and to be able to pay it directly, either with credit card or directly from their account. We do have some options now, but they're a little more limited, but we don't have the lookup feature, which we think is exciting for us. There's not a whole lot of things in finance that can be exciting, but we certainly hope that people being able to look up their tax bill and their water bill will be something that they'll appreciate, at least, and they'll get a history and some other things in there. And then other things we're working on is people being able to look up assessing records, sales of homes, things like that. There is a slight fee to do that, but at least it's an option that I think a lot of people will take advantage of because it's a very small fee. At this point, with the county collecting taxes, because Brian, I know, has been in working on what we call settlement, which is at the end of the year, he settles with the county on the taxes that are due. So at this point, anyone who has delinquent taxes, pay them directly to Oakland County still. Stay tuned. I haven't heard officially, but I think the treasurer, Andy Meisner, is working on extension of payments for people as well without penalty. But keep an eye on the Oakland County Treasurer website to see if that does officially happen. But at this point, we're kind of in limbo. We don't think any status of dates are changing yet. We're obviously heavily into the budget for next year. We've pushed back that deadline. As everyone knows, internally, we've moved back our budget meetings with directors, which we're going to have starting next week. We pushed them back a week. And of course, council's concerned, are we going to be able to meet our timing by charter? Again, we're kind of waiting to see how much leeway the governor's office gives us with some of those deadlines, but we think we'll be able to meet the deadlines, but obviously we're going to have to take a strong look at our capital expenditures and things of that nature because of the lack of revenues due to the coronavirus. So there's a lot of things that are different for all of us, but the one thing we're trying to do with residents is give them an opportunity, if they can't make their payments, not to worry about it. You're not going to be penalized for it. We've also pushed back the deadline. Normally this time of year, we've rolled over unpaid water to taxes. We're also pushing back that deadline. We're going to give people more time to pay their water bills before they roll on to taxes. And then again, we'll try and look at waiving some penalty if we can. It's, you know, I've heard this a lot. We're all in this together. So we're trying what we can from a financial standpoint to help people out as much as possible. And we expect the online point and pay to be at least up and running for water, since we're not collecting taxes right now, in mid-April is what they told us today. So keep an eye out there. I know Tori will keep you informed using her avenues to make sure people know that it's available. We'll put it in as many places as we possibly can so that people will have the option to make payments. Like I say, directly from your account is the cheapest way to go. The money usually comes out, I think for us, within 48 hours. So if you're paying it on that day, it will credit that day. So some interesting things for us to move forward with residents. And if you have any concerns at all, please, you can contact me. My email address, mpollock@berkleymich.net. I look at email constantly from home and even at night, and I know on weekends as well. And then Brian, who's doing most of the work back in the office, I think he's coming in at least a couple of days a week and maybe more than that to try and get settlement done and go through mail, because people are still dropping off and mailing in payments. So it's very different, but any concerns or questions anyone has, please email me and we'll get you an answer.
Well, thank you so much, Mark. That was super informative. I know that our residents will probably be very appreciative, one, of us as a city, you know, extending those penalties, or at least removing them for the time being, to help, you know, aid in, you know, a lot of the people who are either working from home or, you know, have, you know, unfortunately lost their positions due to this pandemic. And then, you know, obviously online payment is going to be a huge factor, especially if this does get extended. So I'm happy to hear that this is, you know, rolling around within the next few weeks, which will, I think, put a lot of people at ease.
Right. And that was our hope, was that, and then like I said, in the interim, at least, not having to worry about making the payment if you haven't yet. You're not going to be penalized. And then, like I say, having options to pay it at home if you're able to. Obviously, we're encouraging people not to go out, not to come to City Hall. So giving them that option is another, what we think is helpful way for residents to stay at home and conduct business as usual.
Great. Well, thank you again so much for your time today. I know that our residents will appreciate this update as well. Stay tuned, Berkley, as we continue to feed you guys updates, you know, regarding what our departments are doing and how they're, you know, dealing with this virus. You can follow us on our Facebook page, or you can reference our Inside Berkley page on our website. See you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.